welcome back to the channel. Carrying on from the last episode where we took the head of the Triumph TR6 off, did the leak test, found that there are no leaks. Obviously because, reason for doing this, I did the compression test and at 75 in one, 0 in another. So something I've obviously missed. I need to go back in, find out what the problem is and rectify the problem. Part of me was hoping maybe I hadn't done the valves properly, but that's proved it seems to be okay. So the next stage today is the barrels off and go back in and recheck the actual rings, make sure they're okay, have a look at the condition of the barrels. I know they were fine when it went in, but we just need to check just in case. Let's say it could be the rings, it could be a broken ring again, I don't know. So that's the aim of today, is to actually get the barrels off, unscrew, unbolt them, barrels out, and get the rings off, and check the rings in the barrels. Grab the feeder gauge later on and do the gap checks. One thing I have made, very quickly, just knocked it up. I have seen it only once before, a guy did it, but he did it with a piece of wood. I don't have any wood. So I've done it with a piece of hardboard. So basically when I lift the barrels, I can slide this in place around the com rods and then cable tie so nothing drops down. I can use a piece of rag, but you can never be sure with a piece of rag, so I thought I'd give this a try. So it is just a couple of old bits of hardboard cut in half. Lay them flat, join them together and put a cable tie through the top to keep it so nothing, if anything does fall off, hopefully it will go off and onto the floor, then I can find it. So that's the plan for today, see how far we get. May run this into the next episode, again it depends on time. We'll see how far we do, but everything's still laid out on the bench as it came out. Yeah, so that's basically the idea. It is a bit crude, a bit roughly done, but literally when it goes together, cable tie there, cable tie there. So as I actually unscrew this and start to lift the barrels up, I can slide the piece of wood in from each side. So hopefully nothing will fall out, and then we'll have a look at these rings. So let me get some spanners out and we'll get these barrels off and hopefully get that fitted. Alright, so let's start to get these nuts off. Again, I'll probably speed this up. Right, so that's the last one. I'm actually laying them out on the bench in order. So now we should be able to start to actually lift this head up. Then I can slide the boards underneath. Hopefully the gasket will remain intact. I think I do have a spare. So I need to get it up high enough so I can actually slide, but it needs to be above the studs. Right. Getting there. So that's one side done. Now I just have to feed the other side in. And then just cable tie the two together. Then I should be able to lift the barrel off. And if anything does fall, it will slide down. I've got it on the side stand. Right, so that's both attached. Right. So hopefully now I can just pull the barrels out. And have a look. Right, we're looking at this side. This one gave me 75. Rings are there. This side is the worrying side. This gave me 0. These rings are literally compacted into the piston. The bottom oil ring, as you can see, is moving freely. You can just about see a gap on that ring. But they've squished themselves in. So that's causing an issue for that. Right. So I think the next job, pull this out. I will actually take the whole piston out as one. But the piece of board is actually doing its job, so nothing fell out, which is good. Nothing's broken, which is also good. Right, let me get these pistons out. So I've got to remove circlip and then punch through the piston pin. Right, so the pin's out from this side. I've also removed the other side. Just started to actually tap this pin through. Here it comes. Right, so again, take them off, put them on the bench in the order they came out. So this is left side. So again, yeah, you can see the, we'll have a look in closer in a minute when I get this off. So I just got to knock that pin through. And there's the second one. So again, as I did before I put this thing together, everything that's come out facing front, nuts that hold the head down, or the barrels, sorry, down. Again, barrels facing front. So a closer look at the pistons. Yeah, all three of them are free and moving. But they're not. They're absolutely stuck. Bottom oil ring. Get the camera right in a minute. Bottom oil ring. Yeah, no problem. Moving. Top two. Jammed. So again, circlips that came out from the corresponding sides. So next job will be try and free up these rings. Right, so I've managed to free these rings up. It's weird how they were just totally almost crushed. I think the next thing will be is try and get them out. I mean, they definitely went in the right way because it's actually, if you can see there, it's actually got top. So what I'll actually do is, as I take them off, I'll lay them out. So I know it's top, second, and oil. Yeah, again, just where my thumbnail is, says top. Now it's very strange why it's done that. So that's the right hand piston, top ring, middle ring, oil ring. So now I'll do the same for the left hand, which seem completely free. Like I said, I've actually left one of the circlips in, so I know that's the inner side. Same with that one. So left and right, circlips facing in, so the pins will fit in from the outside when it goes back in. No, that's extremely odd, really is. I think probably what I'll do is I'll leave it there for now. I'll actually run these back through the ultrasonic, see if I can get these grooves cleaned properly. And then the next episode we'll come back and we'll actually start putting these in and double check the gaps. Right, so thanks for joining me on that one. It is very, very strange how the rings have cramped themselves in. It stops obviously explain why the actual right side had zero compression, because there's nothing actually, the rings were just flush with the actual piston. At one stage I was looking at it thinking, are they actually there or have they just disintegrated? But no, they were actually there. So they're out. I'll clean everything up. Next episode we'll continue on. We'll start rechecking the gaps, see if they're correct, and then we can start reinstalling. I will do some research and checks, because obviously these were the pistons that were in it. The rings I had to get. They are standard rings. So you'd like to think in theory they should be the right ones, but as I say, I'll do some checking between now and the next episode. I'll leave everything as it is, and then when we come back everything will be cleaned, and then we can start actually going through the gaps, checking them, adjusting if anything's wrong. But yeah, very, very confusing, but I hope the board system helps people. Say sometimes it is better than a piece of rag. It's something I saw a while ago and thought I'll keep that in mind. The gentleman I saw actually used a couple of blocks of wood. I've just used hardboard, but either or will work, but it just gives that seal, so if anything drops it will go off to the side and you'll see it or hear it. And obviously if the piston rings are broken as I'm bringing out the barrel, it should in theory just drop, but luckily no piston rings are broken. The valves seem to be okay. I will look into rechecking the adjustments on the top of the valves, see if they're set correctly. As I say, it's the first time for me on this. It's a learning experience, it's a learning curve, but that is part of the channel, is to explore, learn, make mistakes, try and learn from the mistakes. But it's been an enjoyable build. A bit frustrating at times, but what build isn't? You know, things don't always go. Sometimes, as you see on YouTube channels, you see the bike just go through its build. Sometimes it does actually happen. It goes through, everything goes back together, it starts first or second time or first or second kick. But unfortunately sometimes in the real world that doesn't always happen. But I like to show you everything I do. As much as I can cram in, I will show you. Some things I do have to cut out because it would just go on. But like I say, we'll come back, I'll have these cleaned, and then we'll start the gapping process again. There's a link in the top corner to the actual Triumph playlist. If you want to check that out, go and have a look. It basically brings you through the whole build from how it came here, why it's here, the story behind it, and then everything in boxes, and then starting to build. There are links to other videos at the end of the video, and as always, I really appreciate your support. Big thank you to my patrons. I really can't say that enough. And join me again for the next episode. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.